On the eve of Fresno State making its first NCAA tournament appearance since 2001, got a chance to get some insight from the voice of the Bulldogs, Paul Loeffler. Paul, you've spent a lot of time with Fresno State over the years. You've called some big moments, talking College World Series championships, Mountain West football championships, and now this team win a Mountain West basketball title and get into the NCAA tournament. How does this rank as far as big moments in Fresno State athletics history?
This is big. You know, there's a proud basketball tradition at Fresno State, but it's been so sporadic. Boyd Grant had him in the dance 3 times in 4 years. They made the Sweet 16 once when it was a 48-team tournament. He only had to win 1 game. A little different from today. You know, Pat Hill in football, they took on the best in the country. Almost beat #1 USC in the Coliseum. Tim DeRuyter's won a couple titles. But this is right up there. The way the community is responding, somewhat reminiscent of another great basketball coach, Jerry Tarkanian, when he got him back to the dance after they'd waited 16 years. They've been waiting 15 years this time. I can see it starting to come together. That enthusiasm is building, and I think there'll be a lot of Bulldog fans here.
Now, there is a precedent recently, 14's upsetting a number 3. It's happened 4 times in the last 3 years. What are the keys for Fresno State upsetting a very well thought of Utah Utes team on Thursday?
I think it's a real good shot that the Bulldogs can pull this off, and part of it is not paying attention to that seed. It's about the matchup, not the seed, right? And they think they match up pretty well against Utah. Maybe there's some similarities size-wise to an Evansville team they played earlier this year that played really well in the Missouri Valley. But also they went to Oregon, they went to Arizona. They were right down to the wire in both of those games. And they know Oregon beat this Utah team 3 times, and the Utes lost at Arizona. So what's the big difference? I think Fresno State might have a little edge in depth. And if the Bulldogs can play their game, force turnovers while taking care of the basketball, which they've done as well as anybody in the country the last month, they're going to have a shot.
9 straight wins for the Bulldogs. That's the 3rd longest active streak in the country. Is this team playing its best basketball that you've seen all year? It's been a remarkable season. Have they hit their peak at this point?
Without question. The best game that they've played all year was the Mountain West Championship game against San Diego State, but it's been building each game, and they've been finding different ways to win. You know, they're down 9 with under 2 minutes to go against Air Force, score the last 10 from Marvell Harris, all from him, and they win the game. Julian Lewis did something similar in the Mountain West Championship game against San Diego State. He had the last 7 points in the last minute 36, a huge steal, a huge 3. They're coming up with that clutch factor. It's a different guy, a different way every night, and it just kind of makes you wonder how it's going to happen against Utah. But if you're a Fresno State fan, you believe it is going to happen.
Fresno State has had great players throughout its storied history. Marvell Harris will leave as one of the top of all time, Mountain West Player of the Year, Mountain West Tournament MVP. You get a chance to see him play 1, 2, hopefully beyond that. Where does he rank as far as the way that people will think of Marvell Harris when he's long gone?
I think they'll think really highly of him. I mean, probably the most talented player Fresno State's had is Paul George. He's probably one of the top 5 players in the world right now, but he never had that college success. I think back to Courtney Alexander, who at the end of his career helped Jerry Tarkanian get him into the tournament, and people loved Courtney Alexander because of it. And I think Marvell Harris is occupying that role, and maybe even a bigger role if he can lead this team on to some big upsets in the NCAA tournament. But he's done it all. He's done it offensively, defensively, inside, outside. He's a real personable guy, a colorful character. His teammates love him. And he's grown in the last month and a half so much in terms of leadership, maturity, understanding. You just, again, you wonder, where is that trajectory taking him, and how far can he lead these Bulldogs?
Paul, appreciate the insight. Have a great call on Thursday.
It's going to be fun.
That's Paul Loeffler, voice of the Fresno State Bulldogs.